This is day 48 study guide, starting on the second page, number 20. Why do we use maps? There's lots of different reasons for that. We can locate certain positions. For a topographic map, we can determine the elevation of an area. And we can also tell which way rivers flow. And there are many other reasons too. Number 21. Where is the scale located on a topographic map? It's going to be the bottom margin usually. And what's it used for? It's to be able to tell how far away two locations are. To find the distance between points. Found in the bottom margin, and it's used to find the distance between points. So here is a topographic map that we've had before, and here is the scale. Remember, this is the kind of thing where we copy it over onto a scratch paper, and then we can use that on the map to figure out how far different things are from each other. Number 22. Where is the compass located on a topographic map? And again, that's the bottom margin. That will have two lines usually. One that tells us which way it is for geographic north. That's to the North Pole, that's at the Earth's rotational axis. And then there's another arrow that will point towards magnetic north. That's the direction that the compasses will actually be pointing. They're not always the same direction. In fact, they rarely are. Number 23, define the contour line. That's a line that connects points of equal altitude. Line that connects points of equal altitude. A line that connects points of equal altitude. Number 24, elevation. That's the same thing as altitude. In other words, it's the height above sea level. Number 25, where is the contour interval located on a topographic map? It's down by the scale. And what is it used for? It's to determine the altitude of different locations. Number 26. How is a depression shown on a topographic map? That's a thing called hachures. Those are, it looks like contour lines, but they have little dashes going along them, and those dashes point to downhill. So typically, we have a depression or a hole of some sort, and the hachures, the little tick marks, will be pointing down to the middle of the hole. And as the hole gets deeper and deeper, we'll have more contour lines with more little tick marks. When you see this kind of a symbol, that is a hole or a depression. Number 27. How is a hill shown on a topographic map? Circles around each other. So here we have a hachure around a hachure. That's a depression. For a hill, we just have plain old circles going around each other. So the smallest circle represents the top of the hill, and the wider ones are the wider bases of the hill. Number 28. What color are major roads? That'd be red. That'd be for the biggest roads. For smaller roads, but still ones that are kind of significant, they'd be both red and white. So Highway 12 that runs through Fox Lake is considered a major road. That's solid red on the topographic maps. And things like Highway 59 and Grand Avenue, those are smaller secondary roads. Those are alternating red and white sections. Part B, buildings and artificial landmarks, those are black. And they tend to try to draw those in the right shape. So if it's a long skinny building, it's going to be a long skinny rectangle. If it's a T-shaped building, the black symbol will actually be T-shaped. Vegetation is green, so if we have a forest preserve, that will be a green blotch. Rivers and streams will be colored blue. Index contour lines and other contour lines will be brown. The index contour lines, those are the ones that have numbers on them. Those are the thick ones and dark colored. They'll be dark brown, thick brown, they have numbers on them. The other thinner lines, if they're brown, they're still contour lines, but they won't be numbered. You'll have to figure out those altitudes yourself. We're going to cross off F. Don't worry about that one. That's not going to be on the test. Number 29, symbol for railroad. It's going to be a line with a cross hatching on it. A church is going to be some kind of a box with a cross on top. Depending upon the shape of the church, looking down at it, they'll try to mimic the right shape, but they'll still have the cross in one way or the other. Secondary road, as I mentioned before, is going to be red and white. A school will be some kind of a box representing the shape of the school from looking down. And then it's going to have a pennant flying off the top. A trail is going to be a dashed line. So a hiking trail or a very small gravel road could be considered those things. How do you calculate relief? That is, relief is the difference in altitude between two places. So to find the relief, you take the high altitude and you just subtract off the lower altitude. The high place minus the low place. Slope is a little bit more complicated. We have the relief on top, that's the difference in altitude, and then the horizontal distance on the bottom. You tell the horizontal distance from the scale on the map. How do you identify a steep area on a map without calculating slope? Well, if you have really close contour lines, that will be a steep area. Be sure that on a topographic map for the test that you can read the elevations at different locations, calculate the relief between two spots, and calculate the slope. Remember that you need to be able to understand the symbols as well. If you have any questions about those, please feel free to talk to the teacher about it. That'll be the end. For the rest of the period, you can catch up on old work that you haven't yet finished.